Hey everyone, Kate Borer and Fiona Pearman joining you for this week's Facebook Live, where we're continuing the conversation around building brand and profile, articulating your value. And as we shared last week, most of us tend to rely on our subject matter expertise, knowing our stuff, as our main source of confidence. That often is what drives us to be across all the detail, to build relationships, so we can answer all the questions. And the challenge, of course, is the more senior we get, the more that we have to be across, the less sustainable this strategy is. And it's still important to know our stuff as well. It's just we don't want to over rely on this strategy.
Yes, our subject matter expertise is like the foundation stone. It's really important. We want to have it. We want to feel confident about it. And it's not enough in and of itself, particularly as we advance through our career. Now, we often talk about personal brand being everything you say and do, but equally everything you don't say and do. And quite often we're not so conscious of what we're not saying and what we're not doing and how other people are making meaning and deciding whether we're available or competent or ready for certain projects and opportunities. So our willingness to start to see where is it I could do more or I could say more and what the effect would be on my personal brand and others understanding what it is I contribute and the value I bring to conversations and to various dynamics is really important to have, just to really start to understand and to be more conscious of where I could perhaps do and say more.
Yeah, chapter 3 of Core Confidence, Know Your Stuff, talks about being, really clear and conscious about who you are and what you want to be known for. I often talk about what do you want when it comes to career and life? What skill, capability, experience do you need in order to get there? What do you need to be known for? Who do you need to be known by? For me, that's career plan, development plan, personal brand plan. This piece around, what is it you want to be known for? I think, when it comes to being able to do this well, being clear on what you know and what you don't know, if we keep that theme, right? I'm a subject matter expertise in this. I don't know anything about this, or actually, I don't know much about this, but I'm learning in this space. And that's us being able to talk about our learning edge from a place of personal power, not it weakening us in our position with stakeholders or how we feel about ourselves, even more so. They're able to be really clear on what I know in the same breath, not needing to know every minute detail and being across every possible question, that I've got a certain level of expertise that I'm across. And inevitably in this day and age, I am going to get asked a question that I can't answer and that I'm not across. That's okay. What's important there is that we've got strategies to be able to navigate around that. And that's what we talk a lot about in the Acts of Confidence program. So what you know, what you want to be known for, what is your subject matter expertise, equally is useful to know what you don't know. What do you do and what you don't do, Fee? And this is very much linked in to part of preparation, being really conscious around what happens when you are in a meeting room, a virtual or live, and being able to put some prep into perhaps what you're going to do specifically and not do. And then equally, Fee, there is this piece around all the things that we do unconsciously when we're in a room to communicate our message. And I think sometimes that's the piece that is most under-leveraged and most thought about when we think about how we're positioning ourselves or sharing our subject matter expertise with our stakeholders.
Yes, we often talk about, it's as important to know, to do and say, and it's who you are being in the moment, how you show up and your level of gravitas, calm, your willingness to engage in conversations that are uncomfortable, your willingness to ask great questions. I mean, who you're being is calm and curious and available, it has a completely different impact in terms of people's perception of you. Even if you're raising issues that maybe are a little bit different to other people's perspective, possibly even controversial, if you hold them well and you don't hold them from a place of having to be right and proving and there's a tightness about it, it's more, I'm relaxed, I've got this perspective and I'm willing to listen to others' perspectives. Something happens in that dynamic that really cements you as being not just a subject matter expert, but a leader who can cope with anything in any dynamic. And that's what people are looking for. They're not looking for you having all the answers. They're looking for your demeanor and your the way in which you show up as much as what it is you share and say.
And they're looking for the person who can get the answers if they need it, right? Not have it in that second, in that moment. I often think of the experience of people who are presenting on stage. It's something I was terrified of. Used to really stress me out. I'd spend days working on my 10 PowerPoint slides for the all staff conference, where I'd get up on stage and, communicate the numbers, which for many is boring and complicated anyway. Getting myself really hooked into the preparation and the data and the story, and over and over and over. And, it's helpful to a certain point, right? We want to be across the details so that when I'm in the moment, I can show up and be present, right? That's what happens. And that's where the nerves I leverage, right? I think I always say the day that the nerves go away is the day that maybe we need to stop doing this sort of thing, right? Because it helps us prepare. And when we walk into that meeting, into that room, we want to be 100% present. We want to be able to leverage all of the genius that is up here that we've curated over our lifetime, that has brought us to that moment. We want to be able to stay open and leave our brain, relaxed, so that if and when we do get asked that question, we're able to respond, not from a place of anxiety or fight or flight, but from a place of, I've got this. Yep. I don't know. And let me come back to you. Let me circle back.
Absolutely. I'm thinking about, we were in a room on Friday with 80 people, and you rocked in from one flight that was delayed, got to the room, didn't have a huge amount of preparation. Absolutely. We know our subject matter back and front, and just, sat up there with me, and we had a great time with a great audience. And I don't think there was hardly any level of worry or concern, again, because you were really confident and powerful in who you were being. We both were. The client had a great experience. I think we underestimate that we actually do know it, and we need to trust ourselves in the moment that we will be enough, and that willingness that no matter what comes at us, we'll be able to respond. If we haven't got all the detail there, we'll be able to manage expectations. We'll just say, hey, don't have that right now, but let me come back to you. And let me come back to you within 24 or 48 hours, whatever it is you need. That often gives people more certainty and more sense of you and your personal brand, because you are calm and collected no matter what's happening.
Yeah. And when we are in that frenetic or frantic state, that is what triggers uncertainty for everybody else in the room, right? That is what actually makes us inauthentic. And so, the mere process of being in that state puts us out of integrity and out of authenticity with those in the room. So lots of great stuff we know in this topic this month. It's something that so many women reference around being able to speak up, ask questions, be known for the value they bring and the problems they solve, whether it's, articulating their value in CV, on LinkedIn, in a meeting room, or with their leader. Lots of opportunities to really start to take conscious action around this, and start to build your brand profile and influence in your organization in service of your career goals. So if you have enjoyed today's confidence conversation, please head over to our Facebook page, like it, you'll be notified when we go live. Lots of other great lives in there for you to check out as well. If you know someone who could benefit from today's conversation or any of our work in this area, please tag them below, or feel free to share this. And of course, if you'd like to go deeper with your relationship with Core Confidence, visit coreconfidence.com.au.